Greetings, sports fans. ASMR Sports here. Apologies to those subscribers of my other channel, Randomly Relaxing, who were expecting a video yesterday there. I had very much planned to have one up, but I just could not figure out a time when I would have some sort of quiet time to record one, so I fell off my schedule of doing a video every other day, one there and one here, so get everyday videos. I fell off that schedule, but I'm gonna try to get back on it. So I'm recording this in the early morning on let's see, it is the 28th of November, Sunday, and I'm gonna post this today, and then on Monday I'll be back with the video on Randomly Relaxing. Please subscribe to that if you're not already. Link below. Got some fun new content to make. I just gotta find the time to record, which I'm very much trying to do, and I do not have a box cutter. Bummer. Let's see, I can stab it with this thing. Today we have a box that I got from my distributor. As I mentioned previously, I had ordered like I don't know, 20 of these, I think, and I got only this one. So I'm going to open it. This is the first 2020 Optic that I've opened, I think. We've done Prism, we've done Select in different ways. Optic has been out for quite some time, but just haven't really gotten any of it anywhere. And I'm not really jonesing to buy it at like resale prices, because it's pretty high. I paid $45 a box for this one box through my distributor, and I think if you get them on Facebook, which I almost never buy stuff off Facebook except for this one group that I'm in. Because I really don't have any idea if people are scammers or not, and I guess you're covered if you pay by PayPal goods and services, but I don't know. I just would rather not deal with total jabronis. And I think if you get these off eBay, I bet they're probably $50+ right now, plus whatever shipping and tax you might pay. So, you know, they're not the cheapest thing right now. Although I guess compared to like prior years of Optic, they probably are still pretty cheap. So if you wanted to buy and hold these for a few years and see kind of who breaks out. Malachi Flynn. Jared Culver. Oh, that's cool. Insert act. How's Trey Young doing this year? I haven't really paid much attention to him. This card is a bit off center, otherwise I would probably stick it in my potential grade pile. Although I have to say, third year insert card of a star player is probably debatable at this point for grading, even if PSA had a bulk submission service, which they don't right now. I noticed something the other day. Speaking of PSA, so there's a quarterback named Mac Jones, who's a rookie this year, and has taken over the quarterback position at in New England, the New England Patriots, in the absence of Tom Brady. The Patriots had Cam Newton for a while there, and he was okay. Then there was a 2019 draftee called Jarrett Stidham, who people thought maybe was going to be the next big thing, and I was sort of excited for that because I have a bunch of 2019 football unopened. Nice little Trae Young base here. Anyways, so Mac Jones comes along. He was their, I presume, their first round draft pick. Man, I'm seeing some scratches and little dings all over these cards. Me no likey. Gee whiz. Like, this thing's got all sorts of crap on it. Not cool. Not cool, Panini. And our hollow is Wendell Carter Jr. Yikes. But it's a hollow, so I'm going to sleeve it up. Alright, so Mac Jones is quarterback for the Patriots. The Patriots kind of had a rough start of the season. They lost some pretty tough games, and everybody was kind of like, oh boy. Anyways, not much later thereafter, Mac Jones hit his stride and had some pretty big wins, and now all of a sudden the Patriots are very much in contention for a playoff run, and Mac Jones stuff is pretty desirable. And I was noticing the other day on a Facebook, man, look at this giant crease right there on DeAndre. There was a post on a Facebook group, a card collecting group that I'm a member of, and somebody was asking if they should, or if they thought that this card that they had of Mac Jones was, centered well enough to grade a 10, and it was, yes. I got some Luca coming up. This is what I'm talking about. Inserts of Luca. Oh yeah, all day long I'm wanting this, baby. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Anyways. So, somebody was posting, should I send this card in? Or is this good enough for grading? People were like, wait a minute, why would you send this in? And then, like, other people were commenting, like, splash. Other people were commenting, like, why would you send, or, why would you send in? And then people were responding saying, it's like I don't know what it is, like a $1,000, $900 card in PSA 10. And I was like, what? And sure enough, I mean, there have been sales of that base Donruss rookie of Mac Jones for high dollars on eBay. But as people, I think, rightly pointed out on that thread, like, that certainly could have been somebody trying to manipulate the market. But the other thing to remember about cards of guys who have rookies in, like, you know, late 2020 products or any, look at this card, Jesus. It's got a giant freaking giant, like, crease on the front there. That's just, I'm just gonna throw that away. That's just not worth keeping. Anyway, so people could be manipulating the market, but with these cards that are, you know, relatively new releases, like, and they're low-end stuff, you know, nobody has had a chance to grade those because the cheapest grading that's been available at PSA for like a year, maybe it hasn't been a year, but I feel like it's been a year, you know, is like $150. I really should, like, have some better, like, let's see. So the cheapest grading that's been available from PSA is $150 in the last year, and so a lot of these, like, base cards that are relatively new just have zero population, because who the hell is going to send in a card for that kind of money, a base card? The answer is, like, not many people. So those that did have a card that's very low pop, and therefore, you know, at auction might, or even not at auction, like with some crazy buyer who's got to have his Mac Jones PSA 10 rookie card. There's like 3 of them in existence. You know, it's rare now, but, you know, as soon as any more grading options open up, it will not be even remotely rare. But when will that be is the question, you know, and is that card going to be a $2,000 card? Geez, I hope not. Before PSA can open the floodgates. Kemba Walker Express Lane. I will say these parallels seem to be in pretty nice shape. So, and then I guess somebody also commented that PSA 9s of that Mac Jones card are going for like $400 to $500. That's perhaps even more sane than a PSA 9 at $900, but you know, they're just as. Oh, I saw a Mavericks logo. That's open. I got another Luca insert, but you know, the 9s are just as rare as the 10s, because again, it's not like how many 9s and 10s are in existence. It's you know, how many people have been crazy enough to send those cards in, and the answer for the 9 cards is just as low as the 10s. So anyways, that's just crazy times we live in. Ooh, nice. I don't know if I was single Tyrese Halliburton rookie, guys, but let me just see what this is. Wow, did I just get rickrolled on that guy? Wow, that's funny. So there's a really nicely centered Tyrese Halliburton rookie. That's definitely going to go in the grade pile, I think. Just, you know, in case some cheap grading options ever open up, I can get a nice PSA 10 Tyrese rookie, hopefully. Pretty good young player. All right. So interestingly, we got this card of Jason Kidd, you know, as a player for the Mavericks, and now, of course, he is the coach of the Mavericks. And it's a nice little off center, left, right. It's a nice solo or hollow prism. So I'll sleeve it up because he's a coach of the Mavs. But dang, I saw the Mavericks logo on the back of that, and then I saw the shiny hollow traction. I was like, oh man, did I get another sweet Luca insert? Which we've been getting some nice Luca inserts, right? I got that one out of. Let's see where it is. I got this one. Got this sweet silver prism dominance out of the last prism box. So we've been getting some pretty sweet Lucas, which is super awesome for me because he's like the main thing I'm interested in basketball cards, even though his stuff is really deflated these days. Alright, last card. Boom, boom. David Robinson, winner stays. Is that a purple parallel or is that just the, I don't know. Interesting. Interesting. It's the same as this guy, so I think it is a purple. Yeah, it's a purple parallel, so that's cool. That's just like a retail parallel, but hey, David Robinson collectors out there. HMU. So yeah, crazy times with grading. I still think like, so let's say you you have a Mac Jones, Donruss base rookie card you pulled from like a blaster box or something. So you send that in, you pay $150. I think at that level it probably takes like a month or 2 months to get that back. And you know, is that Mac Jones card going to be worth $900 then? Absolutely not. What you're hoping for is maybe it's worth you know, $300 and you paid $150 to grade it, so you double your money. Not a bad outcome. But you know, I mean, it could be that lots of other people are making that bet too, and so like 1,000 people send that card in. I'm just moving some stuff around here off camera, sorry. Lots of people send that card in. Well, the market's basically flooded at that point. No one's going to pay much for that if there's like 20 of them up for sale on eBay. Anyways, oh, the other thing I got thinking was like, well, there's plenty of Mac Jones, Donruss parallels out there, for example. Some of them numbered, some of them not. And I would think that you would much rather find one of those to send in than a base Donruss card, which is inevitably going to be worth nothing, whereas a parallel, or like, I don't know, a nice insert or something. Oh, Jesus Christmas. Is maybe going to hold its value if Mac Jones, you know, blows up the playoffs. So, I was looking at my football cards the other day and I happened upon this Josh Allen. I think it's a parallel. I feel like this Panini is like normally silver. So I pulled that. My stuff's been pretty hot this year, but the Bills have been kind of, I think they've lost one or two key games recently. So that's cooled down a bit. But anyways, I saw it and I'm a Bills fan, so I'm like, you know what, I better check that out. It's a little hard for me to tell the centering on this card, but I think it looks good. surface seems okay. One of the corners is like iffy, but it might pass. Probably be a 9. But. Okay, so Manoah was a really good standout last year, and I was going through, I don't know, some cards I hadn't really like sorted through yet. So unfortunately, this has a corner that's a little bit white, so I would not send this one in, but it is a nice number to 10 parallel, so I will take that and put it in a top loader. Think about selling this at some point to a Blue Jays fan who wants a nice low number prospect card of this guy. Also pulled a bunch of Franco cards. This is Topps Heritage Minors from 2019. This kind of card is probably not really like worth very much right now. If he goes on a real big hot tear and it's a PSA 10, it might be worth something then, but might just cover the cost of grading. Franco just signed like a big contract. I think it was like $180 million for 10 years. It's an interesting sort of thing because these are from 2019. Topps Pro Debut. So the contract that Franco signed is certainly unusual for the Rays. They tend to not give big contracts to their young talent. But nice tattoos right there. But Wander obviously is a kind of a generational talent, or theoretically a generational talent, I should say, that they have a chance to get for relatively cheap. So the way this contract works, for those of you who don't know, and the reason why it's a bit unusual is a lot of times, teams will, because teams have control over their players, their prospects that come up. For quite some time, it's like I think it's like roughly 5 years. So during that time, they basically get their players for relatively little money. There is a process of arbitration which allows a player to basically make a case that they should be paid more than what they got the prior year based on their statistics and the sort of a little bit of something like a little card has like a little scratch in it or a little dimple, I will not put the card in there because that over time can theoretically cause damage to the card inside. Probably has to be, pressed against it like in a monster box for quite some time. But boy, this has a little piece of like a hanging chad that I think it's just gonna come off, but maybe not. Well, whatever. Ohtani, this is a card that a little off center, but I kind of feel like a base rookie of him has to go in because even at a PSA 9 it's well worth the cost of at least bulk grading. Oh wow, I just realized something. Hold on. Wow, you guys, this is huge. I have a rare SP variation. You see the difference? I just pulled this out of like a box of like cards that had just been sitting around for like 3 years. That is amazing. This card is pretty valuable. That's freaking huge. And I don't really have like too many like rare cards of him left. I've had some parallels, but I've sold them. That is fantastic. I don't know how rare that is, that card. There's a lot of parallels in a lot of like unsort of identified. All that is identified team color, you see. It says there. Wow, that is, what a score, you guys. I mean, I have to say, this is why I love collecting cards in a lot of ways, because it's such a treasure hunt. I didn't realize I had this. And it's an extremely cool card because Ohtani is obviously, won an MVP, one of the most in-demand players on the planet right now, and I have a rookie card parallel of him that's got a pretty significant amount of value, and I didn't even know it until just now. And a lot of times, like, a player blows up, after people kind of have written them off, and this is another one. This is also probably a 9, but again, with Ohtani, as long as it's not an 8, you're probably fine sending it in. But anyways, yeah, like baseball card. Everybody who's collected baseball cards for a while has had this experience of kind of going through their boxes of cards and realizing, oh wow, I got a card of a guy who's like blown up. And at the time I put this in the box, they were kind of like nobody, but now this has a little bit of a scratch on the back there. So, and this is an experience that has always, I think, existed for sports card collectors. I remember when I was, I think these are good to go. Maybe, are they good to go? By the way, there's a little scratch on this sleeve. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, guys. Man, all these sleeves have issues. I remember when I was a kid, the first time I kind of had this experience was with Cecil Fielder, who you'll remember if you watch baseball at all in the kind of late 80s. But he had some seasons where he just blew up and hit like 50 and 45 home runs for like 3 seasons in a row, and dust on my cards. And before that, like he had played in the major leagues. This was with the Tigers that he blew up, but he was with the Blue Jays originally and had some rookie cards from like '86. And then he went off to play in Japan for a few years, and everybody just kind of wrote him off, forgot about him. I don't think he was ever like a huge prospect. He was always kind of this big, kind of overweight player. But he comes back from Japan. He just goes on a frickin' tear with the Tigers. And, you know, back then people were not hitting 50 home runs a year all that often. So it was a pretty amazing thing. Here's an Acuna, rookie performers. I really gotta stop dropping these cards, you guys. It's getting out of control. So here's a card. A tiny bit off center, left to right. But I'd have to probably look this one up, see what it goes for. Graded, in order to figure out if it's worth sending in, but I think it's got at least a shot out of 10. Actually, I take it back. I see a little kind of problem right there, so take that off my list. So Cecil Fielder comes and he blows up. This was like, God, what? I think it was like '89 that he blew up. And everybody's like, oh my God, this is the next Babe Ruth here. And everybody had to go back and find their '86 Topps and Fleer and Donruss Cecil Fielder rookie cards, because he was like this huge superstar now, and everybody had these cards in their common boxes, and I had, you know, plenty of those cards in my collection, sitting in my common boxes, you know, sorted by team, and dug them out, and they were worth like, I feel like they were worth like $8 a pop back then, which is like fantastic. With inflation, that's probably like $20. So anyways, you know, ever since then, I feel like baseball cards have always felt like a kind of a treasure hunt a little bit in some ways. So, it's one of the reasons I love it. Alright, well, I'm gonna let you guys go. I think the hit of the day was definitely this frickin' SP. Amazing. Amazing card. Super psyched about that. Oh, by the way, one quick comment. You know, a lot of people on blowout forums talk about how 2018 high number heritage, which is what this set is from, is not worth buying because the autographs in there, which are, I think, of Ohtani, but they're definitely autos of Juan Soto and Acuna in there. Unfortunately, they're both redemptions. So if you pull them, you're not going to get them because they're expired. So a lot of people say don't buy, 2018 Topps Heritage high number because the main two rookie autos in there are redemptions. But I say there's tons of parallels. There's different kinds of chrome parallels. There's all these SPs of Ohtani and of Acuna and Soto in that product, and that product is generally a fair bit cheaper than Topps update, Topps flagship update. So I think there's a ton of value in those boxes, but people are kind of hung up on the autos. I think your odds of getting an auto of any of those guys is quite low. So really what you're after is like PSA 10s of the main guys and parallels, and there's plenty of those still left in those boxes. So unfortunately, I am totally out of my 2018 Topps update. I sold my last box or two probably half a year ago, but at one point I had a case and I was opening that slowly but surely, and I actually pulled I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot, my point in the foot, but I actually pulled a Soto auto redemption out of one of those, and at the time it was still valid, so I sent it in. got that back, sent it in for grading, got a PSA 9, which I think was a total ripoff. I think it's a PSA 10 all day, but what are we gonna do? Alright, thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate you. Please do subscribe over at Randomly Relaxing if you're not already. I have a ton of content on the way for that. And I will continue to do every other day here as well, as long as I can. So, occasionally I'm sure I'll have to skip a day, but that's my goal. So I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe. And we'll keep the train rolling. Alright, catch y'all later. Bye now.